Hello student, in this video we will revise chapter number 2 acid, base and salt by the question answer. So let's see the first question, that is you have been provided with a 3 test tube. One of them contains distilled water and the other 2 contains an acidic solution and a basic solution respectively. If you are given only red litmus paper, how will you identify the contents of each test tube? Here, as we know that by the using of the litmus paper, it is one kind of natural indicators by which we can easily identify that whether the substance is acid or base. So here the only one litmus paper given, that is of red litmus paper. So as we know that the red litmus paper, it is turns into the blue when the substance is base. But if in the condition of the no any kind of change on litmus paper, then it might be acid. And if the red litmus paper is turned slightly red, or you can say the purplish, then we consider as a distilled water. So by which we can easily identify. Now let's see the answer. If the color of the red litmus paper does not change, then it is a acid. If the color of the red litmus paper change to blue, then it is a base. If there is a slight change in the color of a red litmus paper, for example such a purplish color, then we consider it as a distilled water. Now let's see the next question, that is why should a curd and the short substance be kept in a brass and the copper vessel? Because as we know that the short substance which contains the acid, and if the acid which is react with the any kinds of the metal, here the brass and the copper are given, both are the metal, but if the acid is react with the metal, then as we know that it is a chemical property, when the acid is react with the metal, then it's form the hydrogen gas, and this hydrogen gas is harmful for our body as well, and it is also change the taste of the food, and you can also say that it is also cause the spoiling of the food. So let's see the answer. The curd and the other short substance contains the acid, therefore when they are kept into the brass and the copper vessel, the metal reacts with the acid to liberate hydrogen gas and the harmful product, thereby the spoiling of the food is occurs. So it is as advisable that not store the any kind of short substance or the curd into the brass or copper vessel. Now let's see the next question. Which gas is usually liberated when an acid react with the metal? Here we have to do the reaction between the metal with the acid. As we know, by the reaction between the metal and the acid, it's evolve the hydrogen gas. Here we have to illustrate with the example. So we have to describe the all experiment that we already see in the activity as well. How will you test for the presence of this gas? Here we know that the hydrogen gas is evolved, but how can we identify that this gas is hydrogen only? That all activity we have to perform. Here you can see the figure is given. In the figure, the test tube stand is there. In the test tube we are adding the zinc granules. The zinc, that is a metal. After the adding of the zinc granule, add some acid in it. Here we are using the dilute H2SO4, and then after between the zinc granule and the H2SO4, both are react with each other and the form gas which is evolved in the Soapy solution. And how can we know that the hydrogen gas is evolved? By the using of the burning candle. If the burning candle is burn with the pop-up sound, then we can say that the gas is hydrogen gas. Now let's see the answer. Here the reaction between the metal and acid. So here which metal we are using? Zinc. So the Zn plus, it is react with the H2SO4, means Zn plus H2SO4. Then it gives a ZnSO4, means the zinc sulfate, and the hydrogen gas is evolved. This hydrogen gas we can identify by the process by which we are using the burning candle, and which is give the pop-up sound, by which we can easily identify the whatever the gas is evolved, that is of hydrogen gas. Now let's see the answer. Take a few pieces of the zinc granule, and then after we have to add the 5 ml of dilute H2SO4. We have to mix it proper, and then after whatever the gas is evolved, that we have to collect in the Schoppe solution. The bubbles of the Schoppe solution are formed. The Schoppe's bubbles contains the hydrogen gas. As I told you that the H2SO4 which is react with the Zn, that is metal, which is from the zinc sulfate, and the hydrogen gas is evolved. So we can taste the evolved hydrogen gas by its burning with the pop-up sound when the candle is brought near to the Schoppe bubbles. Now the next question, that the metal compound react with a dilute hydrochloric acid to produce a effervescent, the gas evolved extinguish a burning candle, while the balanced chemical equation for the reaction if one of the compound form is a calcium chloride. Here the metal compound is a react with the dilute hydrochloric acid. Here we are taking the calcium carbonate, which is react with the hydrochloric acid, means the HCl. So we can get the CaCl2, means the calcium chloride. Along with that we get the carbon dioxide and water. So the answer is, you have to write down the equation that the metal compound A, means which metal compound, that is CaCO3, which is react with the dilute hydrochloric acid. It is react with the dilute hydrochloric acid, and the gas evolved extinguish a burning candle, means it is must be a carbon dioxide, because as we study that the carbon dioxide gas which is extinguishes the burning candle. That's why by this process the carbon dioxide is evolved. And another thing, that write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction if one of the compound, one component we already got, that CO2 is there, and the another compound that is of calcium chloride, this one. And during this process the water is also generated. So we have to balance this equation. Let's see the balancing of this equation. Ca 1 C carbon 1 oxygen 3, but here 2 plus 1 3, hydrogen only 1, but here 2. For the making here 2 we have to write down 2 in front of the HCl. While the making of HCl2, so the Cl is also become a 2, but here already Cl is 2. Now you can compare the both the side, the reactant side as well as the product side. Both the side the atoms are same. So this equation is balanced now. Now let's see the next question. Why do HCl, means the hydrochloric acid, and the nitric acid HNO3 etc. show the acidic characteristic in an aqueous solution, while the solution of compound like alcohol and glucose do not show acidic character? As we know, as a Arrhenius rule, that if any substance which evolves the H plus ion into the water, then we consider it as a acid. Here you can see the HCl, which is, if we are adding into the aqueous solution, then it is dissociated into the H plus and the Cl minus ion, and this H plus ion is again further react with the H2O molecules and from the H3O plus, means the hydronium ion. So by which we can confirm that this substance is a acidic substance. So in this case HCl and the HNO3, both the acid are the dissociated the H plus ion, and which is further react with the H3O plus, means we can get the H3O plus hydronium ion. So by which we can say the both are the acid. But when the case of the alcohol and glucose, it does not dissociated the H plus ion into the water. That's why we consider as a non-acidic characteristic. Let's see the answer. When the HCl or the HNO3 are mixed with the water, then they dissolve in a water to form H plus, or you can say the H3O plus ion, which shows their acidic characters. For example, just see the following reaction. The HCl, which is dissociated into the H plus and the Cl minus, and this H plus is further react with the H2O. So it is formed the H3O plus. When we are talking about the alcohol and the glucose, when the alcohol and the glucose are mixed with the water, then they do not dissolve to form ions. Hence, they do not show the acidic characteristic. Now, the next question. Why does an aqueous solution of an acid conduct electricity? The presence of the hydrogen, means the H plus, or you can say the hydronium, means the H3O plus ion in the aqueous solution of an acid are responsible for the conductivity of the electricity. Because for the passing, or you can say the conducting the electricity, we require a free ion. So this kind of free ion we get in the aqueous solution, then it is able to conduct the electricity. As we know that the acid which is elutrate, or you can say which is dissociated into the H plus or H3O plus ions. For example, if we are taking the HCl, then it is dissociated into the H plus and the Cl minus ion. We get the free ions, and these free ions which is responsible for the conducting of the electricity. So we can say that the aqueous solution of the acid conduct the electricity. Now the next question, that is, why does dry HCl not change the color of the dry litmus paper? As we know, we consider acid whenever it is formed the H plus ion or H3O plus ion, then and then we consider that substance as a acidic. But if we are talking about the dry HCl, it does not dissociated any kinds of H plus ion. So we cannot consider it as a acid. And if it is a dry HCl gas, which is not change the color of the dry litmus paper because it has no hydrogen ion in it. Now the next question, while diluting an acid, why is it recommended that the acid should be added to water and not water to the acid? This question asked 2 to 3 times, so it is most important. And during the explanation also I explained, because this reaction is a highly exothermic reaction. If we are adding the water into the acid, so it is generated the tremendous heat, and it may cause the accident as well. So for the prevention of this process, what we do, we are adding the acid drop by drop into the water, so the acid easily can be diluted, as well as it's by the stirring it is also the spread the heat which is generated by this process, and by due to the separation, due to the exothermic reaction, the heat is evolve and it may cause the accident. So it is advisable that we have to add the acid, and that is also a drop by drop into the water, so the whatever the heat is generated, that can be easily handled. Let's see the answer. Since the process of dissolving an acid into the water, it is a exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means it elucidates the heat, and it is always recommended that the acid should be added to the water. If it is done the other way, then it is a possible that because of the large amount of the heat which is generated into the mixture splashes out and cause the burn. The next question, how is the concentration of hydronium ion affected when a solution of an acid is diluted? If we are diluted the acid, then it is strength, or you can say the strength of the acidity, it is a decrease. So answer is when an acid is dilute, the concentration of the hydronium ion per unit volume, that is decrease. That means the strength of the acidity, that is also decrease. So it is an effect on the acid solution if we are diluted. The next question, how is the concentration of the hydroxide ion affected when excess base is dissolved in a solution of sodium hydroxide? Here we are adding to more basic in nature, or you can say the more excess base in the solution. So what happened? The more OH ion is dissociated. Due to the more OH ion dissociated, the concentration of the hydroxide ion is increased, and due to that increasedness, the basicity of the substance is also increased. So the answer is the concentration of the hydroxide ion, means the OH minus, would increase when excess base is dissolved in a solution of the sodium hydroxide. Now let's see the next question. You have a two solution, A and the B. The pH of a solution A is a 6 and the pH of the solution B is a 8. Which solution has a more hydrogen ion concentration, and which of these is a acidic and which one is a basic? For give this answer, we have to keep it in mind that pH scale. As we see in the pH scale that at the 7 pH, it is a neutral one. When we are going from 7 to 1, then it is acidic in nature. When the pH is from the 7 to 14, then we consider it as a basic. So here one that is given a 6. So this A solution which is below or which is a less than the 7, so it is a acidic in nature, while the solution B which is a more than 7, it is a comes into the range between the 8 to 14 in basic range. So the B solution is basic in nature. As we study in the Arrhenius rules that the acid is dissociated the H plus ion, and in a pH scale as well that the acid contains the more hydrogen ion as compared to base. So the answer is a pH value of less than 7, which indicates an acidic solution, while the greater than the 7 indicates a basic solution. Therefore, the solution with a pH 6 is acidic, and as it is acidic, so it has a more hydrogen ion concentration than the solution of pH 8, which is a basic in nature. Next question. What effect does the concentration of H plus ions have on the nature of the solution? Here we have to see that the concentration, according to the concentration of the H plus ion, we are consider that it is a acidic nature or it is a basic in nature. Let's see the answer. If the concentration of the H plus ion which is increased, then the solution is become a more acidic. But if the concentration of the H plus ion it is decreased, then the solution is become a basic in nature. For example, between more than, here you can say, if the H plus concentration of the H plus ion that is of more than 7 to 10, then we consider as a acid. While if the H plus ion concentration is the it is a less than the 10 to 7, that we consider as a basic in nature. Now the next question, do basic solution also have a H plus ion? If yes, then why are these basic? Yes, basic solution also have a H plus ion. However, the concentration is less as compared to the concentration of the OH minus. That's why this solution is become a basic, and we consider that solution as a basic in nature. Now the next question, that is, under what soil condition do you think a farmer would treat the soil of his field with a quicklime? Quicklime means a calcium oxide, or the slack limes means the calcium hydroxide, or a chalk. Chalk means the calcium carbonate. Quicklime means the calcium oxide, slack lime means the calcium hydroxide, and the chalk means the calcium carbonate. Here the question is that for the good condition of the soil, the farmer would treat the soil with which kind of substance? Quicklime, slack lime, or the chalk? For that we know about the ideal pH at which the soil is become a more fertile. If the soil is acidic and the improper for the cultivation, if the soil is acidic, then we have to add the basic, whatever the basic in nature, that kind of substance. Means then to increase the basicity of the soil, or for the neutralize of the soil, the farmer would treat the soil with the quicklime or the slack lime or the chalk, by which we can easily neutralize the soil, and then we can easily grow the plant, and which is appropriate for that. Now the next question, what is the common name of the compound CaOCl2? Means calcium oxychloride. It is a calcium oxychloride's common name, that is a bleaching powder. While we are preparing the bleaching powder, at that time I explained what is the name of the CaOCl2, that is calcium oxychloride, that is a bleaching powder. Name the substance which on treatment with the chlorine yield bleaching powder. Means we have to write down that substance which on treatment with the chlorine yields bleaching powder. So the answer is the calcium hydroxide. Now the next question, name the sodium compound which is used for the softening the hard water. For that we are using the washing soda, means the sodium carbonate decahydrate, by which we can easily the softening the hard water. Now the next question, what will happen if a solution of sodium hydrocarbonate is heated? Sodium hydrogen carbonate or a sodium hydrocarbonate means a baking soda. Give the equation of the reaction involved when the sodium hydrogen carbonate is react with the, or we have to apply the heat on it, then it is converted into the sodium carbonate. Along with it, the carbon dioxide gas is evolved and the H2O is also get. When the sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated, then the sodium carbonate and the water is formed along with the evolution of the carbon dioxide gas. These things we are seeing in the preparation of the baking soda. Next question, write an equation to show the reaction between the plaster of Paris and water. As we know that the formula of the plaster of Paris, that is of calcium sulfate hemihydrate means the CaCSO4 into half H2O, which is further react with the water means the 1.5 water. So it is combined with each other and make the gypsum, and that formula that is CaSO4 into 2H2O. While the reverse reaction that as we know that the plaster of Paris that we are getting also from the gypsum, but in the adding of the plaster of Paris water, then also we can get the gypsum, and which is a hardening structure. Now let's see the exercise question answer. A solution turns a red litmus blue. Its pH is likely to be. As we know that the base turns red litmus paper to blue. Now we know that the solution is a base. Then we have to remember the pH scale. As we know that if the pH is more than 7, then we consider as a base. So the answer is 10. Now the next question. A solution reacts with the crushed egg cell to give a gas that turns lime water milky. The solution contains. Here we know that the egg cell which contains the calcium carbonate and which is react with the solution. That solution produce a gas which turns the lime water milky. So gas that is of carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide which is evolve, and this carbon dioxide is give the lime water to milky. So the solution that is of HCl. The HCl which is react with the egg cell means the calcium carbonate, and the gas is evolve which turns the lime water the milky. So the solution is a HCl. So answer is B. Now let's see the next question. 10 ml of a solution of a NaOH is found to be completely neutralized by 8 ml of a given solution of HCl. If we take a 20 ml of the same solution of NaOH, the amount of the HCl solution required to neutralize it will be. Here we have a 10 ml solution of NaOH is found to be completely neutralized by the 8 ml of a given solution of HCl. Means total 16 ml means the 10 ml of NaOH and the 8 ml of the HCl, by which we are get the neutralized solution. But if we take the 20 ml of a same solution of a NaOH, then the amount of the HCl solution required to neutralize it will be. You can apply the formula as well. For the 10 ml we require 8 ml of HCl. Then for the 20 ml of NaOH, how many ml we require HCl solution? So it's quite a double. So 8 2s are 16. So we require 16 ml means the D option. Now the next question, which one of the following type of medicine is used for the treating indigestion? Indigestion means it is caused by the acidity. So for the neutralizing acidity or for the treatment of the acidity, we are using the antacid, which is a basic in nature, and that's why it is a neutralize the acidity and it gives the relief from the acidity. Now the next question, write the equation and balance them. Write a word equation and then balance equation for the reaction taking place when the dilute sulfuric acid react with the zinc granules, means the H2SO4 which is react with the Zn, zinc granules, then it is gives the ZnSO4 means the zinc sulfate and the hydrogen gas is evolved. Same the hydrochloric acid is react with the magnesium ribbon, means the HCl which is react with the Mg magnesium, then it is gives the MgCl2 and the hydrogen gas is evolved. In first equation no need to balance because it's already balanced, but in the second equation we have to balance the equation because here the H is 1 while the here hydrogen 2. For the making a hydrogen here 2, we have to write down 2 in front of the HCl. While making a 2 over here, the chlorine is also become a 2, but here chlorine is already 2. So now the equation is balanced. Now the third one, that is of dilute sulfuric acid react with the aluminium powder, means the H2SO4 that is react with the Al. So it is give the Al2SO4 thrice and the hydrogen gas is evolved. Here you can see the hydrogen 2, S1, oxygen 4, while here 4 3s are 12, here only 4. So we have to make oxygen 12. How can we make 12? Here 4, so we have to multiply it with the 3. So the 4 3s are 12, here also 12. But while making over here 3, the hydrogen is become a 6. So making a hydrogen 6, we have to write down 3 over here. So 3 2s are 6. And the as is also become a 3. Sulfur is also become a 3. But here already it is a thrice. So sulfur is also thrice over here. Now see the aluminium. Here aluminium is 2. So for making a 2, we have to write down the 2 in front of the aluminium. So now the equation is balanced. The last one, that is dilute hydrochloric acid, which is react with ion filling, means the HCl is react with the ion filling, means the ion. Then it is give the FeCl3 and the hydrogen gas is evolved. Here you can see the Cl is 3 while here only 1, whereas the hydrogen here 2, here only 1. So what we have to do? Here we have to write down 6. Here this is the wrong one. Here we have to write down 3 only. Then the 3 hydrogen. Here we don't, 3 2s are 6, 3. Yes, we have to write down 6 over here. Why? Because here 3 HCl is there. And we have to make a 3 over here. But if we are making 3 over here, then the hydrogen become a 3. By the 3 we cannot balance the equation. So we have to write down 6 over here. So the 3 2s are 6 hydrogen is occur and the chlorine that is become a 6. Here only 3. So we have to write down the 2. So the 3 2s are 6. And here 2 Fe is there, so we have to also write down the 2 over here. By the 3 it is not happened, that's why we have to write down the 6 then, and then it is balanced. So it is a right equation. Now the next question, that is a compound such as alcohol and the glucose also contains a hydrogen but are not categorized as an acid. Describe an activity to prove it. This question we already see that the glucose and the alcohol which is not evolved or which is not dissociated into the H plus ion, and you can say the hydronium ion, that's why. Let's see the answer. 2 nails are fitted on a cork and are capped into the 100 ml beaker. The nails are then connected to the 2 terminals of a 6-volt battery through a bulb and switch. Some dilute HCl is poured in the beaker and the current is switched on. The same experiment is then performed with the glucose solution and the alcohol solution. Here you can see in the observation in which beaker we are taking the dilute HCl. That beaker only the bulb is glowing, while in other where we are using the glucose or you can say the alcohol in that beaker, or in that case the bulb is not glowing. So that is indicate that it does not contain any kind of free ions. Let's see the result. The HCl dissociated into the H plus and the Cl minus ion. These ions are able to conduct the electricity into this solution. As resulting, it's glowing the bulb. Whereas in glucose solution, it does not dissociated into the ion, therefore it does not contain any kind of electricity. Now what can we what is the conclusion of this activity? That from this activity it can be concluded that all the acid contains the hydrogen, but not all the compounds contains the hydrogen are the acids. That is why though the alcohol and the glucose contain the hydrogen, but they are not categorized into the acid because they are not able to dissociated into the hydrogen ion. Now the next question, why does the distilled water not conduct the electricity whereas the rainwater does? Distilled water cannot conduct the electricity because it does not contain any free ion, while the rainwater, which contains the trace amount of the dissolved salt and which contains the free ion and which are able to pass the electricity. So the answer is the distilled water can conduct the electricity because it does not contain the ion, while rainwater conducts the electricity as it contains the ion due to the presence of dissolved salt in it. Let's see the next question. Why do the acid not show acidic behavior in the absence of the water? Acids do not show the acidic behavior in the absence of water because it cannot able to produce a hydrogen ion, or you can say the hydronium ion, without the water. So the acid is not show the acidic behavior in the absence of the water. And the another question that we already solved, that in the dry form of the acid does not turn the any litmus paper into the blue litmus paper into the red one because it's not liberated any H plus ion. Now the next question, the 5 solution given A, B, C, D and the E, when tested the universal indicator shows the pH as a 4, 1, 11, 7 and the 9 respectively. So we have to identify that which solution is neutral, which is a strongly alkaline, which is a strongly acid, which is a weakly acid, or which is the weakly alkaline. For that we have to know about the pH scale, then and then we can able to give the answer. Here you can see the neutral means a solution D. Why D? Because it contains the 7. 7 means it is a neutral in nature. So the solution D is a neutral in nature. While below the 7 means the 1 to 6. This all the pH contains the acidic nature. So the 1 and the 4 both are the acid. But here we have to show that which is the weakly acid and which is the strongly acid. So the 1 that is of strong acid and the 4 that is of weak acid. While the more than 7 pH that we consider as a basic in nature. So for that we have a 2 figure, 11 and the 9. So the 9 that is of weakly alkaline and the 11 that is of strongly alkaline. Let's see the answer. The neutral that is solution D, which contains the 7 pH. The strongly alkaline that is solution C, which contains the 11 pH. The strongly acidic solution, which is B solution and it contains the pH 1. Whereas the weakly acid, it is solution A and it contains the pH 4. Whereas the weakly alkaline solution, it contains the E solution with the 9 pH. Here the another question is asked that arrange the pH in the increasing order of the hydrogen ion concentration. Means at the highest position we have to mention the acid, strongly acid, because the strong acid contains the maximum H plus concentration. So at the last 11, then after 9, 7, 4 and 1. So this is the answer. Let's see the next question. Equal length of a magnesium ribbon are taken in the test tube A and the B of and then the hydrochloric acid is added to the test tube A, while in the other test tube we are adding the acetic acid. Here the hydrochloric acid, as we know that it is a strong acid, there is a acetic acid which is a weak in nature, added into the test tube B. Which test tube will be the freezing occur more vigorously and the why? Means which acid give the more reaction or quick reaction? The freezing will occur strongly in test tube A, because in which the hydrochloric acid is added, because the HCl is a strong acid than the acetic acid, and therefore the production of the hydrogen gas is a faster than the acetic acid contains tube. Next question. Fresh milk has a pH 6. How do you think the pH will change as it's turned into the curd? Explain your answer. As we know that when the milk is converted into the curd, it is become a sour in nature, and it is sour in nature means it is contains the acid in it. So the pH of the when the milk is converted into the curd, then the pH of the milk is also decreased. Let's see the answer. The pH of the milk is a 6. As it is changed to the curd, the pH will reduce because curd is acidic in nature, and the acid present in it decrease the pH. The next question answer we will see in the next video. Thank you.